And that's a big part of storytelling as well. You can't have an interesting story if you do not have, any kind of drama, a backstory. Characters become more interesting when they have these flaws and whatnot. So, as an older person, it's like it ceases to become an issue of judgment. It becomes, this is life. I am experiencing this part of life, and I'm learning, and that's the beauty of acting as well, is that now when you stop judging, you start learning, and you become more accepting of other cultures as well, and situations where people come from. Your spirit and your mind broadens, and then when the judgment is over, you're not judging the character, then you can play truthfully.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Film Biz Show, the only podcast where we delve into industry professionals' minds to dissect and get an understanding of their thoughts around the landscape of the film and television industry, both locally and internationally. Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much. Now, today we have an industry giant, literally a giant. I know he doesn't like me saying that, but this man has done the greatest and the most phenomenal television work we've seen in this country. Many know him as Gaddafi, but he's created quite a big name for himself outside of the Soapie industry. Working both locally and internationally, this actor has been part of numerous productions from TV shows such as Generations Legacy, Entangled, Kowe 2, Isidingo, Zone 14, Yizo Yizo 3, and Queen Sono. He's also worked on films such as Collision, which was phenomenal, Shaft 6, Avengers, Five Figures for Marseille, Invictus, and a small town named Descent, to name a few. Everybody, please, let's welcome my brother, the leading man, Vuyo Dabula. Welcome, bro.
Thanks, man.
You can tell I'm excited about this one, man.
That was good energy right there.
Thank
you for the love,
yeah, man. I mean, as soon as we were having our team meeting and I saw your name on the list, I'm like, this is the one.
Aww.
This is the one I've been waiting for.
Where's the makeup people?
We'll call them afterwards.
Yeah.
But bro, I mean, before we just get into it, it always hits me, every time we speak Ruwasjoana.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask myself, Vuyo Dabula. How does it work? Like, with a name like that, I expect
Xhosa guy just, decided to fall in love with, a Tswana girl, and, and I came about into the world. Yeah. And so where I come from is Mafikeng, basically. And there's a large concentration of Xhosa-speaking people that side. My father speaks fluent Xhosa and Tswana at the same time. So I guess what they did was they chose the mode of conversation, language in the house. They chose Setswana.
Okay.
And I ended up speaking just Setswana and English.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, in the Northwest, I think most schools didn't offer Zulu or Xhosa.
Naturally.
Because it's predominantly a Tswana speaking sort of area. So
that's true.
Everything just, surrounding me just says Tswana.
Yeah, and I'm sure you were there during the Tswana era.
I pretty much, left Mafikeng Northwest when I was in my 20s.
Sure.
20, yeah.
Yeah, so you were there, Tswana nationalism.
I was getting to, getting to know the world.
Yeah. No, that's really good, man. And I'm sure it's been quite a challenge, obviously. I mean, in the space that we're in, Zulu and Nguni languages are quite prominent.
Yes.
So, I mean, how did you get to balance that coming from a Tswana background?
You've got to be true to yourself. You've got to be true to, yourself. And I'm not saying my Xhosa side of things is not authentic. That's not me.
Yeah.
It is very much part of who I am. But, what I know in terms of experience and, what I was taught, my mother's language, it's Setswana. So the best that I can do when I come to Johannesburg and just be true to that.
Yeah, man.
We will pick up on, my Xhosa side as, I go along in life. And, I'm sure my ancestors, will make sure that, we will, I will get to where I need to, on my side of, Xhosa lineage, background, ancestry, but I think, I don't get phased because, predominantly, where we are, the Nguni languages are more predominant.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Just be true, be real, the best that you can be.
That's it.
And people will respond to that. I can't be fake. I can't, people really respond to authentic, real
characters,
character and whatever. And that's, and that's not just a saying. That's my experience ever since I started, acting. I've only ever really spoke and being bold about, speaking the language.
Interesting.
And the audience, and I appreciate them for embracing that. It's testament to what I just said. People respond to what is real.
Yeah. I love that, man. I mean, and I mean, it's a testament to how long you've been in the space. It's one thing getting in there, but to be able to do it over and over the years, it really shows that there's a lot of work that you put in the background that, as audiences, we don't get to see, But like, just going back to how it all began, how you fell in love with storytelling. What is it that called you into the space?
Oh, man, the 80s. The A-Team, 80s TV shows.
Oh,
the
A-Team. You pass off as a BA.
Dynasty, Falcon Crest, BA Barakas here with the Mohawk, but when it did happen, and personally for me, it was just, I wasn't even thinking BA Barakas. But anyway, so, I mean, those shows, Chananana, there was a particular favorite of mine called Crime Story.
Yeah.
There's a bad guy there. Like he was the, the bad guy of the show. Ray Luca. And, oh man, they, always trying to, apprehend him, the police trying to, catch him, bring down his operations and whatnot. But he would always be, 2 steps ahead, and, you know what I mean? And, that's where I caught the bug, I think. But I can't remember ever wanting to be anything else, though. So as far as I can remember, I've always wanted to do this. And how it began, brought myself to Johannesburg. Let me,
let's get the real story.
Yeah, let's get the real story. My mother was very instrumental in bringing me here to, Johannesburg. And first I went to, I think it was West Technicon at the time, to study interior designing. When I was in the dean's office, or the person responsible for the arts, I heard him. He says to me, so why are you here? And I was about to tell him interior designing. And then a phone call came through, and then he picked up, he says, excuse me, picked up the phone, and obviously I listened into the conversation, and he says, oh, no, there's no longer space for interior designing. Of course, when he dropped the phone, I said, I'm here for fine arts. And then, there's an artistic, through and through, like an artist. You know, I enjoy everything that's art, whether it be in food, visual, whatever it is. You know, I'm very much like the artist. I enjoy all of what in its entirety, art, and so that's why I went there, and I didn't complete my time there.
Yeah.
But while I was there, I bumped into a lady called Felicity Shiba, and she introduced me to modeling, and my first projects with in that world were pretty much acting.
Oh.
You know, they had these little clips they did for Edgar's, these little short stories where guy with the good body, athletic body, is wearing their clothes, and so they'd have like narrative, like I'd play the garden, the gardener, the strong,
Oh yes.
athletic, beautifully built gardener with Madame there at the top, sort of oogling and whatever, looking at the young man. And that was, my first kind of professional introduction into acting. And then I remembered, I said, okay, yeah, this is it. And then eventually went to after.
So now, as we know, I mean, process is a very, very important element to the craft of acting. Something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Do you have a step-by-step process of how you get into character for a role? And are there any elements you'd like to incorporate for future roles? And also, do you have any process for de-rolling, taking off this character and going into your day-to-day life?
I think my process is I don't have a set program or set of rules or how I get into character. I think the first it's inspiration. I think inspiration is inspiration. You will get ideas, at any given point from any source, and then I think also characters come from different worlds. They speak different. They have different experiences and different what have you. So, for instance, if I did a fighter, for me to understand how they speak and their swagger and everything, their spirit, everything has to come from what they go through.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'd have to go through the process of what they, whatever it is that they go through. If, to prepare for a fight, a boxer, runs X amount of kilometers. If they spar so many times, if they have to, whatever it is that they go through, for me, what would inform how I play truthfully would be to actually go through what they go through truthfully in real life. But what is general across the board is the first time I decide to play a character, I take the material and I pay attention to the material and I read it. I gotta read my script, a couple of times, a lot of the times without. What I do is I don't judge anything. I don't judge any character. I try not to read stage directions so as not to make prejudices, to make decisions prematurely, so I get my clues from, the dialogue. I get my clues from, character, as they develop or they don't develop or what have you. And the material for me basically then informs me, but I have to sit down with it and just work,
So, but what do you mean by not judging the character? What happens if you do that? Like, I mean, if the guy is a rapist, he's a rapist, and it's a disgusting act, or are you able to kind of blank that out as you read and try and understand his reasons for engaging in such a gruesome act? Or I
think some characters and I will tell you 100% now, there's certain things that, I still have issues with, and certain characters that I would not necessarily go for. The rapist, it would be very difficult for me not to judge. But, to answer your question, I think, what do I mean by, prejudices? What happens if I judge? I think there's always, a reason why there's an issue. Yeah. Right? Like if you steal and kill a person, then obviously you're going to be judged for that, legally. There are consequences to that legally. But, the reason you did whatever it is that you do, there's a lot of, things that play into that. There's a lot of, influence from society, there's influence from where you come from, the background where you come from. A lot of people come from very hectic backgrounds that you and I probably would not survive.
Yeah.
I think, the other thing also is, as you grow, we all know that, life happens. Yeah. And we end up in situations that we never wanted to be in the first place. People do make mistakes and what have you. It's, it's a part of life, and I think and what's interesting about, mistakes as well is that, we come off the better from it.
So true.
It's amazing how we learn from these difficult situations. Some situations we put ourselves in them. Yeah. Some situations just kind of life happens. Some situations when you make that mistakes, it's your fault. It's life happening. But we learn from these difficult times and these mistakes, and that's a big part of storytelling as well. You can't have an interesting story if you do not have, any kind of drama, a backstory. Characters have become more interesting when they have these flaws and whatnot. So, as an older person, it's like it ceases to become an issue of judgment. It becomes, this is life. I am experiencing this part of life, and I'm learning, and that's the beauty of acting as well, is that now when you stop judging, you start learning, and you become more accepting of other cultures as well, and situations, and where people come from. Your spirit and your mind broadens, and then when the judgment is over, you're not judging the character, then you can play truthfully. There are places that you are willing to go that you can go, whereas you wouldn't if you had these judgments. So I think judgment and prejudices, you've got to decide when you take a character that, okay, I am okay with this, then we are going now. We're going with this. So that you can flow, so that you can try things out, so you can delve in and jump in and enjoy the process, instead of kind of always, being apprehensive and thinking, okay, let me play it this other way to avoid feeling this emotion. Or some characters also, you can judge them because they hit
a nerve,
like a nerve somewhere in you, where it's
right?
like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. So you've got to decide right at the at the beginning to embrace, or get rid of all the judgments that you might have.
Now, with that said, how does that policy or philosophy of not judging your characters, how does it inform your personal life? Where, at times, you'd find that a younger version of yourself would say, I will never do this, that, and the third. And after some experiences in life, you find yourself exactly where you thought you'd never be. Do you incorporate that same sense of non-judgmental, approach to your own personal life in order to just kind of keep going? Because I find that the craft of acting also goes parallel with your own natural process of growth and maturity. Have you seen the two actually go hand in hand, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, look, I mean, like I said, I think I've learned a lot from this career, from acting. I think it's a more of a fuller experience when you will experience life on a different and more enjoyable way if you allow people to be themselves. And I think the insanity as well of saying that my way or the highway, for me, it's just the weirdest sort of injustice you can do yourself. I think because there's a lot that you can learn. I definitely have learned a lot, from my experiences as an actor. And one of the biggest things is this for me that just opened up my, my life, my experience with life. That I've had to learn to embrace different, cultures and different people. I've learned to kind of be at ease, and when you do that, you allow people to be themselves, and that's like so pretentious saying you allow people to be themselves. You stay out of people's way, and you embrace them. Just as much as you would like to be embraced. Right? No man is an island.
Yes.
So but what I've learned. Okay, sorry. What did you want to say?
No, I just want to touch on that because it's funny when you say you kind of step back, get out of the way. But I do find, and I'm sure you've noticed, and people have commented on your energy when you step into a room.
Yeah.
You do get a sense of there's a magnetism that you have just as an individual. And at times, do you find that you have to overcompensate in terms of letting people feel free enough, okay enough to be themselves? To say, hey, don't worry about me, This is just what I'm vibrating. Because when you say you have to, it's almost like you have to intentionally step away, whereas someone else would just kind of just be in the space and things would happen. But you feel that you have to kind of switch on because people automatically expect you to have an expectation of them.
Look, I mean, the best thing I can say to that is, I'm learning to be, I'm a big advocate of being, yourself.
Yeah, man.
Like I'm a big advocate of just let it be. And so now other people's expectations and what they think of me and what I might think about them at that time, and if there are any thoughts that I might think prejudgments, then it's a me problem. It's my problem. It's not their problem. So when I walk in, and coincidentally, it's just my character. Sometimes I can be goofy, I can be, you know what I mean? I don't have to, I'm not the suit and tie and, you're going to be professional and, accent has to come out this way, my hairstyle has to be, my mohawk is gone.
It's gone, bro.
It is what it is, like, every day, my everyday experience. My coach at the boxing gym that I go
Shout
to.
out, man. Where they're based?
The Komaro Road in the south. Komaro Crossing, I think. There's a mall there, opposite that suburb, that nice rich suburb in the south. Basonia,
yes. And shout out, I've been seeing the content you've been doing with Kevin. Absolutely, really dope stuff, man.
Kevin has been doing some great stuff. With,
shout out, Mr. Kumalo.
So I mean, I walk in there, at the beginning, obviously there are those, some people want to be cautious because it's me or whatever, and in my mind, I'm thinking he's got a lot of experience. He's the guy I need right now because of his experience.
Yes.
I never do pad work with people who've never been in a ring, right? So I'm fanning out when I meet like the real deal,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
somebody who's won like his belts and whatever. They've been in the foray, right? So I get there, I'm completely unaware of, maybe not completely, but unaware of who I'm supposed to be, right? Because I'm genuinely just goofy. I just want to be me, right? And so as soon as we start, you know, interacting, we're working, it's training me. When he says move, I jump. Because then that's what's supposed to be. That's his office. That's his kingdom. That's what he does. That's what he knows, right? So now you see where this whole I gotta be cognizant of who I am gets in the way, because then you're missing out on the experience, you know, these judgments and okay, he's you know, his English is not coming off this way or whatever. So now I'm missing out. So now in my spirit, I'm like, okay, now I gotta humble myself, which goes back to, yes, I do now and then have to worry about what, you know, the next person is thinking. You know, I come in, I do a scene with somebody who's like, oh my God, this is Gaddafi there, you know. And I know that this person, oh man, I don't know, it could be, you know, the next Floyd Mayweather in acting. You know, it could be, you know what I'm saying? This could be the guy. Now I'm busy, you know, out trying to now outshine them and whatever. So I have my ways of making them get that out of their head, you know, but like just seamlessly though, like, you know, it's just naturally. Let's blend in.
Yeah.
And I think I've had a couple of people come back to me and say, you made my process easier.
Yeah.
And when a person does that, they were expecting something else. So I wonder if that's the experience for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not a normal thing. If it was a normal thing, hey, when you get on set, you are going to feel comfortable. They wouldn't have to, in my opinion. They wouldn't have to come back and say, hey,
yeah,
hey,
trust me, man.
It's an unusual,
trust me.
It seems to be an unusual, you know.
Especially as a young actor, you find one who has more experience than you and is older.
Yeah.
At most of the time, you find that they want to make you feel.
I've had that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm acting like it seems to be, but it is what it is. You know, I don't want to.
Yeah. But I think, you know, one has to kind of give a shout out to, or, you know, it's a testament of your foundation. And you coming from Maftown with such a strong arts culture, you know, you've got, man, I mean, that's, for us, you know, I come from Pretoria, but Maftown was always the mecca of culture. You know, you have Mabana there, you've got people like Jabba coming from there, KB from there, you know, there's legends who come from there. So I'm sure. Presley, you know. Exactly. That's my namesake, Waching.
Nice one.
I always say, Kimita Beatle. So, but yeah, man, I mean, how did that, coming from that space, inform your, you know, your approach to the world of art?
I think you know, my respect and appreciation for the art, I would say, comes from a base, a general kind of base where I come from, you know.
Yeah.
So
and there's a whole
my
swag,
father, well, not necessarily, you know. What I'm trying to say,
thing,
trying to say is, you know, what you just said about, you know, the history of arts and culture with Mafeking. I accept that. You know, we appreciate it. I can't even. That's a fact. There's a whole lot of people that we know.
Trust,
you know, you know that have made an impact on the industry in you know in South Africa. Right. They've come from Mafeking impact. Right. I accept it, and I think that the spirit of it being close, you know, in you know, coming from Mafeking, I think that's something that's rubbed off of me like in terms of just naturally or what have you. But it's not something that I was cognizant of. Oh, I'm from Mafikeng.
I get you.
And I've always been a loner. Where I come from, the funny thing is I enjoy different, sitting with different people and whatnot. But at the same time, I enjoy pulling out and just, my space, And, but largely when I was growing up, it was, on the more I am, my space, And if you ask me, where you from, obviously I'm going to say it with their pride, right? Mufftown, absolutely. But my respect for for what I do comes from just where I come from and how I was raised. You don't have to give me ethics, a code of ethic. You don't have to, I don't have to be around like a big theater, legend and learn and I respect and I appreciate that. But for me, where I come from informs how I treat the art form, I don't throw my bottle out or I don't litter or anything because for me, I can't do that. I can't keep my space clean if I do that. And who do I expect, for me to clean after me? And I think
from the household.
I don't know if it makes sense. You know what I'm trying to say.
So your dad was he a disciplinarian?
My dad was a disciplinarian, and I couldn't walk around without my my T-shirt.
Wow.
I couldn't walk around with shirtless. I couldn't say. There's a word in Setswana called maho.
Yeah.
But it's about maho. There's nothing wrong with the maho, ne? I just wanna.
Your mother.
Your mother. That's your mother.
Yeah, yes,
that's what it means.
Yes.
I couldn't even say that.
Wow. What did you
know
have
where
to say?
I come from?
Yeah.
Mewa gago.
Wow.
I can't. I utlwa ke mewa gago. Ke mago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I couldn't even say mago. You grow, you become an adult, and you make your choices. And there are a lot of things that I've obviously let go and whatnot, and you want to experience, and you go through life. But this is one thing that I cannot shake. When I approach it, the director or the producer doesn't have to say, to check on me. I'm the one who's going to call them and, what's happening with this, you know what I mean? If I have to learn, if the material is there for me to learn, I will get in there and do it without anyone watching. Because that's just, I can't not do it. I cannot neglect it, I can't, so that's my respect. And if you say, hey, let's, for Yizo, if I had been overweight, the third installment, if I had been out of shape, I would have
gone in hard.
As I have, for Queen Sono. Instead of using the wealth meant for your children, it's this guy who's supposed to look a particular way. He's a rebel. They train. Those people, the kind of work that they go through, the physical exertion and the training they have to go through. I can't rock up
with a belly and
I can't. Hey man, a lot of people will kill their character with the belly, but for me, my interpretation is this is what they go through, and so now that's me.
Love it.
I've got like a very short space of time to prepare physically and everything. So that means I'm going through hell. My diet is like to the T. Everything is coincidentally. I was working on Generations at the time. For such a little thing, man. So I was working in the morning until whatever time we are done with Generations. And then I have to go do Queen Sono, and then I didn't have enough time to prepare for Queen Sono. I'm learning a bit of Shona here. The dialogue scenes where he goes there, and I have to learn these things. So my life did not exist, I went into, simply because shame. I'm a slave to this thing that my parents instilled. I wish I could, get rid of it and just relax.
And you can't,
Yeah,
right?
I can't. Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
But I mean, talk about that when you've worked on some major productions throughout your career. But which role would you say, has been your favorite, and which has been your most challenging, to date?
Collusion. I mean, it's. I get it. I mean, it's like on later years. I mean, I've been in the industry for
For a while.
for a long time, and collision just, I think it was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
a year ago.
It's about 3 years ago.
And that's after I had left Generations Legacy.
Okay.
And I think it was just a break from, how the format, how we work in Soapies. You work for a very long time, for many years.
Yeah.
It ceases. See, the process with Soapies is very different. You end up not necessarily having time to invest logic and to build a character. And, the first time you're introduced to a character in a Soapie, you will do the work.
Yeah.
Right? And then from then on,
Autopilot.
you're not being challenged. It's autopilot. You can't, with acting. It's a very difficult thing to accept and to love and to be inspired if you're an actor, because you just get into autopilot and what have you. So for me, and this is another badass, I can say that, badass?
Badass, yes.
Badass, yeah. This is another badass I got to play, and there were very few restrictions. I mean, I was on set. There's a scene where I visit, the character visits the other, the white guy in the story.
Oh yes. Which is he was like a former operative, or he was working for the company.
Yeah, he was into
security
working for a security
yeah.
company. Yeah. And so it's like I don't know if it's a Sunday morning or it's like a normal, morning. Everybody's going to work. The kid is going to.
I remember.
So this guy shows up, right? They see the scorpo in the thing. They didn't really focus on it, but there's something that my character is eating. I think 30 minutes before the scene, I was just going through it in my head, and but now you must understand, I'm outside the studio now with the Soapie, with Generations. I'm outside there now. I'm in like the real world. I'm experiencing all these different energies, birds and everything. The air, everything is real. And a lot of the things that I couldn't do, on Generations, like you get restricted so much
because of the set. Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, I was like, can you get me scorpions? Like I had this inspiration to get me scorpion, and the guys were like, no problem. And then they went and got scorpo. They put it in the microwave there, for a while we were prepping for the scene and whatever and everything. And then they brought scorpo. They put it next to me. Then I went in when the guy came there, when he's busy there, and I'm like, busy, like whatever, So that sort of thing. And
that's the privilege that you wouldn't get so much.
That's the
on
privilege
set.
that you don't. Yeah,
Those nuances.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say is that as a thespian, you want to play, you want to try out things, and you want to be real, and that's real life.
That's true, right?
When you're in a situation, we're always busy with something else. Yeah. In a way.
I feel you.
Whether it's like a phone,
Some
like in a
business.
meeting with the funder. Oh my gosh, those speaking people are calling me for me to, they're like to say, people are calling you, to pay your debts and whatever. So there's always something happening.
It's true.
In
right?
real life,
it's true.
There's always something happening.
It's
and
true.
then I didn't want to be like a TikTok, like in a Soapie in Generations where, I wanted to experience real life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing with collusion for me, that, I was able to kind of try out things. I had that freedom to create, and the director, producer of the film, It was an interesting, it was just a conversation, the audition, I just had a conversation with him and
In character?
yeah. So they called me in and I sat down with him and we spoke about the character and whatever. We had a conversation about the character. And just mid-conversation, he said, "Yeah, you got it.
Wow.
I think yeah."
My goodness.
Yeah.
And funny, I met him in Cape Town, a French
Fabian,
gentleman,
yeah.
Fabian, based in LA, right? Yeah, very precious, intimate conversationalist. Like, it was a party, but you could tell he's the kind of guy you just want to pull close. You have that conversation. So I can imagine how your process was in that.
It was because I mean we spoke quite a lot about the character. We went deep, and then when we are done, as we were shooting, he just stayed out of the way. He wasn't. He was there, but he wasn't there at the same time, and that gave me freedom to play. There's a scene where the guy walks into a shop, and he kind of threatens in a way, like in a very underhandedly, like very nice gentleman with his daughter. Before I walked in, I had the same thing. There's a lady selling apples, fruits on this, by the street. As they said action, I was like, okay, grab the thing, the apple, and then kind of wiped it. And then as I walked in, I did the whole thing. So that's the thing with collusion that I enjoyed. I had great deal of fun. Other stuff, I would say Queen Sona, Soldiers of the Rock as well. I mean, Five Fingers for Marseille.
Wonderful.
Five Fingers for Marseille was quite challenging in so many levels. But had long hours, to shoot. We shot in June. Temperatures in Lady Grey are very, very low, sub-zero. I think it gets like really cold. We'd be doing a scene, and we'd see snow just falling between us. Roads would just freeze up like this thick. Large pieces of road would be closed off because it's very cold. And I just did not catch a break. And I was shooting every first person on set and last person to leave. Very few sort of rest days. I would see people going home like a whole week and coming back, but I was just, incessantly, and I was just in a zone there. But I think that shaped the character. I didn't complain. I just kind of was like, oh my goodness, this is the world. Even though I was genuinely suffering, I was like, I couldn't take it. But I think that molded, like, just really held the character and like freaking inspired the character. The angst I was feeling, outside in real life because of the process and the experience just made the character, I think, for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, but do you see yourself going back into soapy format for an extended period?
I think I don't think it's something that truthfully, the thespian, the actor, call it whatever it is, doesn't want me to be to do that again, because I want to experience reality, real, sort of situations and characters, like Unseen. For Netflix, the guy was completely different from the characters that I played, and that's one of the reasons, if not the most, the one reason I wanted to take on the project.
Beautiful.
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah, brother.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I think I wanted to play the character because he was not in control. He wasn't a tough, in control, badass. He was just trying to survive, and the vulnerability that that I was afforded the kind of opportunity to tackle and to kind of explore the different, things that, Max and Unseen is a lot of who we are as men in this country, powerless, no money to, protect your family, the means to protect your family, to provide, so we live in danger, your family, we live in danger all the time. When you step out, when your family steps out, so that what are we dealing with? Just that angst and the pressure, that we are all dealing with. Up until then, I was playing guys that don't know what it's like to, while at the same time I'm experiencing all these things in real life. And then with this character, it's like, okay, I get to pay homage to who we are, who I am. The next guy, ordinary guy is Isingbo,
street guy,
the big guy, the big guns who don't get to experience load shedding.
Different colors of
there's
life.
certain guys who don't experience load shedding. What I mean? Next. That sort of thing.
He's going
for me.
through
That
life.
was that's what I had the chance to kind of tackle, play with. Yeah.
But now, given those pressures of life, and we've seen many men in our communities who are like Max, defenseless against the circumstances around them, and we're seeing somewhat of a rise of a mental health pandemic. I mean, just the other morning, I was driving to my son's, little junior drama classes at Actor Spaces, and as I'm going, he's there next to me. I'm seeing a whole bunch of cars. I'm thinking, no, it's the cops are gonna stop us. Then I realize the cars are parked by the side, and everyone's rushing towards, it's like by the felt, And as I look deeper, there's a man there. He's hung himself, and he's gone. He's literally hung, and it's a lifeless body.
It's quite a public display.
Quite a public display of such frustration. Yeah. And as I had more, talks with other men, it seems like this is a rising thing where people can't take it anymore. So in your personal journey, how do you manage your mental health? As yourself as an individual, what is your process of going back to yourself, that inner child, that inner divine sense of yourself? How do you tap into it?
Oh man, this might seem, I don't know, shallow to some people, but one of the things that helps me is just being physical, training, the boxing. I just putting my life in order. So the first thing it does is, okay, when you start training, you gotta slow down on this and this and this. You've gotta this type of food. Okay, slow down on the booze, drinking, or what is it? Skip nut, ne? Yeah, like the soft drinks,
sugary
sweet
drinks.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it immediately it guards my physical self. And then when the physical self starts getting stronger and stronger, then my confidence,
naturally,
that's my process, naturally. And the more I can deal with the difficulties of the exercise and the workouts, learning the different techniques with the boxing, it also further informs confidence in my spirit. And then that's where, So it's a lot more important than worrying about how I look, but it is my life. So it is saving boxing, and the working out is saving my life, right? it's informing me, it's telling me that you're a fighter, you're strong, whatever, all of the good and positive things that it is telling me. And then I'm able to. That's the first thing. And then obviously when my spirit wakes up, then naturally it's like, oh, okay, I need to be fed, specifically for me. And then I start appreciating, your meditations. There's less TV now, there's less phone now. And then, it's amazing how it starts from my physical activity and everything starts falling off. And then everything starts becoming prominent. So I will meditate. I will pray. I will talk to the ancestors. I will cleanse. I will go to the river. I will cleanse. I will do all the things that my people and my ancestors did. The people that lived before me and people before them and so forth and so forth. I do that, and now I can feel even my spirit now. My spine is
here
tingling.
right now.
My
Right this
spine
moment.
is tingling. It's like that beautiful energy rising when those are the things that I do. And that's my process. That's how I stay out of
staying open. So I mean, you get a sense that as thespians, as actors, we are also merely fulfilling a role, right? I mean, there are those who came before us and they were facing their own struggles, given where the industry in South Africa was, and we've just merely obviously taken the baton and we shall pass it forward. What advice would you give to the next generation of talent? That's the first thing, right? And secondly, what is your hope for this industry of ours, and what aspects do you think or do you wish to see improved on?
I would say younger generation. I think it's important that when I think it's important to be true to, if you say this is what you want to do, let it be really your thing. Let it be something that is your thing. If you want to be a writer, let it be so, your thing. If you want to be an actor, let it be, because there's a lot of hurdles and difficulties that you'll go through. And also, we've got a lot of stories to tell, and we need people who are really skilled in those environments, basically. But once you know that basically you are an actor, you're supposed to act, you're supposed to do this, that, this is your calling, this is your whatever it is, this is truly your gift, then that's a gift to us as an industry, right? That's a beautiful gift. We want people who are really supposed to be there, Now, I'm not judging. Everybody can do whatever it is that they want, but that's just my wish in my little corner there, Let it be your thing. And once you've decided, never give up. Just work at it. Keep working. It's different for different people. Some people start working immediately just off school. Some people don't. It takes a while for them to work. So I think that's my advice. If it's your thing, don't give up on it, because that's another gift to us. 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, it's important for us in the industry. Those are the people that we want to work with. So don't give up. We want you. We want to catch up with where you need to catch up. We want to work with you. Basically, that's for me. That's the one thing that I held on to, and I think if I hadn't, I wouldn't be here. So if I'd given up, I wouldn't be. So I went through a lot of difficulties and hurdles, obstacles that I had to go through. So, and that's the nature of the beast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hopes for the industry?
I think, we just need to get to a point where movies, the highlight of the industry instead of soapies. I think we need to get to a point where we are celebrated like we are celebrated, when we are on soapies. Yeah. And we need to get to a time where Max, Moale is like, oh my God, but it's like wildly received. And everybody is excited about this film or this TV drama because we deserve it. The amount, the skill and the talent in this country, it's like it's on par with, with the world. And, and I think it's good for business as well. It's good for business, good for art. People want to create art. People want to create, stories that are compelling, that are real, close to real and authentic. And sometimes it's like, big budget.
True.
We want to explore and express, as much as other people in other parts of the world are expressing. We want to be given that instead of, I have to be in a soapie. That's like a very cripple. So what I envision for, what I would like for the industry is for us to get to that level where where we are celebrated for the film work that we do instead of the soapy work. And then you build that and that becomes the main thing in the industry. Then that means that now we are making good noise out there into the world, and that we are attracting the right type of people. Now that, for them to take us seriously, that's where we need to go.
That's so
and
true.
if they take us seriously, then that's good for business.
I want to touch on something. The element or the aspect of a star system. Do you think that also affects the fact that we don't have a star system in the country that affects, obviously how we are perceived from the outside in? And if we were to develop it, how do you think it would naturally morph that system in the South African context?
Look, it's good for business. I think when you have recognized faces who are living according to their fame and what have you, then it creates a mystique, I think. And that's where people want to gravitate to. That's where people want to watch. And that's what people want to flock to, I think it's just good for business all around, star system, if you look at the Soapie, and then, the work I've done in the Soapie, when I step out, it's like, it feels like,
definitely.
A thing. And in that environment, in that business model, with the broadcaster, the broadcaster is making a lot of those time slots. If you look at Generations was at before Legacy. When it started, Generations Legacy, we were like at 1.6 viewership. And then when we came, we did what we did, and then people started thinking, who are those guys and what's happening? Then the numbers started growing because what we were doing, and around that time, prime time, 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever, that's like big advertising period. Per minute, per 30 seconds, people are paying a hell of a lot of money to be in that, So that means that there's a lot of money that's linked to stars and people, what we do. So I think we need to kind of pay attention to that.
Yes, sir.
It's just the numbers game. Yeah, I think we need to find a way to build that and to work towards that. Because whether it is a directed program and mission to actually get us there, whether that's the case or not, people love what certain people are doing.
Yes, sir.
And they gravitate, they flock to.
That's true.
Yeah, so maximize on that.
That's true.
PR those brands and grow them. How do we build it? PR. The PR person comes in.
Yeah.
Actors also need to kind of be cognizant of that.
Of
There's a
that,
business
right?
as well. Get a PR team around you. Build your brand because you are
That's so true.
a brand.
That's so true. Funny because, it seems like also in drama school, I mean, in my time, I'm not sure how it's changed. It's almost like they preach, that's the anti, be authentic be a purist. That's what we were taught at the marketing lab, And it's like, oh man, when you see the actors that are progressing, they are skilled, in the craft, but then they've invested in PR and in the world of social media and all these different aspects. And I think that's exactly what a star system is, because also when you look, there's very clearly, you could see the caliber, you can tell the caliber of an actor. I mean, some of my peers, some friends I went to drama school with, you realize this guy's taken such a huge leap in his career, and it's because he's invested intensely in the PR side of the business, So maybe the star system does exist, but we have to create it ourselves. I heard there's a broadcaster, I can't name the name, but I mean, it's a public broadcaster, there's only one. But they had a contract, with the actors that they do not create stars. I don't know if, they don't create stars because of the fear that you might become bigger than the platform.
Yeah.
And now they have to pay you according to your market value.
Yes.
And that might be something that might be, they won't be able to handle. So it seems like it's an institutional thing as well, ingrained in the South African industry to say, let's keep them here.
Yeah.
So we know we can control. Next thing he can play Garden Boy, but you know what I'm saying? They can play with you in any way they want. So I think, it's good for us thespians to really take charge of ourselves as businesses. Yeah.
So it's like any other situation where a group of people are subjugated and they're discriminated against.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities are taken away from them. Once they start grouping and taking care of themselves and taking themselves seriously, they grow. China is not where it used to be.
True.
Many, many years ago. Now it's a superpower because what they do, took themselves seriously, they regrouped and they rebuilt. And now they are where they are.
Yes,
so actors, I think we need to kind of stop thinking that, the industry is going to change or they're going to save us.
No way.
We need to actually kind of now start talking about these things amongst ourselves and supporting ourselves and finding ways to make this thing a normal thing, this whole PR, because those guys, Denzel Washington is like thespian is like
Truest.
actor, whatever, all of them, but they have a team around them.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So now we go into a very exciting part of the podcast, which is the game segment. We call it Game Time. And the game that we're going to play is called Rapid Fire. We're going to throw some questions your way, and all you have to do is answer the best that you can. All right?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Are you ready? Okay, cool. I think you know this. I hope. I'm going to judge you.
Yeah.
What year did Generations start?
I don't know.
Come on, man. Okay, all right, cool.
Was I born? This thing has been going for way too long. I didn't say way too long, but Anyway,
well, it's 1993, bro.
1993.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a while. Hey, right before our first elections.
Know your history. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same time as both Felicia, Mabuza Sakho. It's euphoria of New South Africa. Let's be one. A dream.
Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta apologize. Okay, this one I'm sure you'd know. What year did Generations The Legacy start? Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Come on, bro. I mean, come on, bro. Didn't you start with them though? Didn't you start with them?
I was right at the beginning.
And what year was that?
I don't know.
Come on, man. All right, fine. This is like okay. All right. It's 20,
Evidently, I didn't. Yeah.
2014. So that's 9 years ago when you started that.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
I should have got that one. I should have actually got that one because my son was getting ready to born. He's 9.
Oh, snap.
Actually,
yeah. So it's a milestone year for you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah, man. Number 3. What is the name of the actor who played the older high schooler, Tula, in Yizo Yizo?
Older high schooler.
Yeah, he was the oldest guy in class.
Oh my God, which one is it? That's like I'm failing this rapid fire.
Come on, you know him, man.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
This is which one is it? Because you've got 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons. Well, he was in 2. Yeah, he was in 2 this one. And you were in the
I'll
third
tell you
installment.
one thing about Yizo Yizo.
Yeah.
First time I saw it, I said, like I had a feeling. I said, I'm gonna be in that thing.
My
one day,
goodness.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so.
yeah, that's a Chadwick Boseman Black Panther story because he
Is
said
it?
something like that. Yeah,
No. It was like
Yeah, man.
And then
That's how it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah.
Bless.
Yeah.
Anyway, the character is
I'm failing this.
Fana Mokohina. Yeah. In Avengers Endgame, a prominent character dies in battle.
Yeah.
Which superhero cried the hardest when they saw that he died? I'll say it again. In Avengers Endgame. I hope you've watched it, bro.
Yeah.
A prominent character dies in battle.
Yeah.
Which superhero cried the hardest when they saw that guy died?
Oh, so it's a he.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Well, it's close enough. There is a man to it, but it's Spider-Man. But that's close.
No, but I mean, who died? Spider-Man died.
Yeah. No. So yeah.
I get when Thanos. I don't understand why he lost.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
I'm a big fan.
Sure.
Of
Yeah.
After the snap, Spider-Man kind of
went into
It's one of the half of the universe that actually disappeared.
Sure.
And then didn't he cry?
Yeah.
Which part?
Infinity War. That's Infinity War.
I'm so terrible. I'm
Got
losing.
entangled, man.
This game is finished.
0 out of 4.
Finishing me.
This one I know you know.
Yeah, guys,
I'm very sure. Okay. In 5 Fingers of Marseille. All right?
Yes.
There's an ensemble cast.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the name of the character that my dear friend Zetwi Jomo Mpahlele played?
Why you do this to me?
Woo.
For the love of Lerato, why are you doing this to me?
Thank you. Thank you. That's
I
the
got
first
that
one you
one.
got. You're the first one you
I
got.
know the ancestors
Yeah,
gave you.
they
because
gave
I was
you.
blank.
Yeah, I can tell. Like as you move, you just thinking.
I'm trying to figure it out. I found
good.
it.
That's how you remember your lines when you're like on set, right? Like yeah. But then, I mean, that's the beauty of those silences as well.
Yeah.
Because those are real moments in life.
Yeah. In real life, you don't know how to put a thing
That's true.
in words.
That's true.
Sometimes.
That's true.
And
That's
then,
true. Beautiful, man. Okay, you on the show Queen Sono in 2020, created by Kagiso Lediga.
Yeah.
Shout out. What was the name of his famous show that got him started?
Piomanate Show.
Yes, sir. That's the one, PMS. So now, in the opening scene of Entangled, there's a spicy scene, right? Where your character pops up in someone's dream. Remember that? We all do. What color were the lights in that scene?
What color were the lights? I remember the unedited version when I was on set. I missed that one. When you were watching it on TV, I missed the edited version. So I'm not too sure, but I think, yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
I
Correct.
think
Correct.
I
Correct.
think
Correct.
it's
Wonderful. Wonderful.
You know.
That's the one. Oh wow, dog. Kevin,
Oh my God.
we're gonna have to kick someone out of the room when we make these interviews. Okay, last one. Zone 14 had 2 beloved characters that opened up the show for every episode. 2 guys.
Yeah.
They're like bombas, man.
Yeah.
What was their names?
I know who you're talking about. They always wore suits and hats. They work for the funeral parlor.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Did you watch cartoons back in the day?
Tom and Jerry.
Wait, man, I'm gonna give you a clue. Just wait.
Okay, give me.
There's a guy who had always had a pipe, had a wife called Olive Oil, and
Popeye and spinach.
Yeah.
Popeye and spinach. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you
that was
cheated
good.
through
That
the
was
whole
good.
game,
Popeye the
bro.
Sailor Man, yeah.
Yes, sir. If you could redo a role with the skills you have now, what would it be and why?
Yizo. Yeah, the third one.
Okay.
Because I play a boxer.
Yes, sir.
And my skill levels with, the boxing are much better than I was when I played that character many years ago. Yeah. I think I would have looked a lot better. Okay. The scenes would have, looked a lot better. The boxing in the scenes and everything. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Boxing seems to be quite an intricate sport. Eh? It's not something that you can. I can throw a punch. I can block.
No.
Yeah. It's a discipline.
It's a very difficult thing. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, last one. What is your all-time favorite film and why?
As in anything that I've done, or
Just you
generally
as an audience member.
Audience member. Oh man, I love film, man. I love film. There's one that I have. The shape of water. The Shape of Water. Oh my gosh, the characters. Oh man, there's just nothing two-dimensional about that. Just like really interesting from different sort of cultures, subcultures, like everything just is in this. It reminds me of Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh yes.
As well, yeah. You see, like I love action and big blockbuster and everything. And then when I'm watching, movies like that, it's like exciting and whatever. And then once I'm done with the movie, I walk out. The feeling is gone. Yeah. Right, like kind of. It's like, wow, that was nice. But movies like that with like a very interesting story. I mean, like The Shape of Water, this woman who can't really speak falls in love with a water creature.
Yes.
Like it's like fantasy.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like who would have thought, of like a relationship, and but then when you're watching it, it works, and it's like, and the performances as well. It's like, oh my God, they had all the time in the world to play these scenes over and over.
Is
and
it the one where she had to even keep it in a
bathtub, and then they rescue the Shape of Water?
Yeah, I remember.
Like I'm having those goosebumps when I was talking about the ancestors earlier. Yeah, when now those kind of movies, for me, it's like, oh my God, yeah.
It's wonderful, man. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping those
Popcorn, Netflix and chill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I mean, going forward, I'm really hoping that you are able to really play the characters that your soul is yearning for. Because every time you step on stage and on screen, it literally is a masterclass for the younger generations of actors. You've paved the way for many, and you are holding the fort. And we are looking up to you to say, we'll keep going, keep fighting. Not only fighting for yourself, you're fighting for us. And you're fighting for those who've come before us and who've had to bear the burdens of keeping this culture alive. So to you, my man, I say I salute you, and may you be blessed on your journey, and here's to many more.
Oh no, well, thank you so much, Marcus. That was very encouraging. Appreciate it, brother.
Yes, brother.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
We'd like to say thank you to Fortune Well, the Magic Lightbox Company, as well as the Dynamic Workspaces for sponsoring this episode.